Hello, welcome to the lunch edition of MBC News, and you are with me, Evelys Chingambe. Our top stories. Government orders road maintenance contractors to deliver quality work that reflects value for public investment. Over 260,000 civil servants verified in the recent public service headcount exercise. And in sports, FDH Bank suspends all sports-related sponsorships and activities. Thank you for joining us. Now the news in detail. Minister of Transport Japi Muhango has ordered road maintenance contractors to deliver quality work that reflects value for public investment. He made the remarks in Malawi during the launch of the 2026-2027 road maintenance program. Isaac Jali reports.
Over 30 contractors gathered in Lilongwe for a meeting with Minister of Transport and Infrastructure Development, Japi Muhango, for the launch of the 2026-2027 road maintenance projects. Addressing the contractors, Muhango observed that apart from a few roads, most of Malawi's road network is in poor condition due to inadequate maintenance. He said this has prompted government to roll out a nationwide maintenance program. Muhango emphasized that a well-maintained road network is critical to the country's socio-economic development. He, however, warned the contractors against poor workmanship, noting that substandard work has over the years drained public resources.
For the past 4 or 5 years, all the roads were abandoned. There was no proper road maintenance by the previous administration, and that has resulted in destruction of almost all our roads. Actually, if we have got one road standing in this country, probably it's only one, the road from Liwonde to Mangochi. Other than that, all other roads are in a dilapidated state. So today we are glad that we have relaunched this program. Why? Because we now have the road levy up and running through MERA. 3 key pillars that all contractors are supposed to abide by. One is to make sure that at all times they are maintaining high standards as they are embarking on this important journey. That's number one. Number two, they must make sure that they are operating within the agreed timelines. So if a contract is for 150 days, it must be delivered within that specified period. But finally, it is within cost.
Meanwhile, Acting Chief Executive Officer for the Roads Authority, Joel Longwe, said the authority will ensure that all projects are completed on time.
These maintenance interventions we are spreading across the whole country. So they are ranging from 150 days up to 11 months. Some they go 11, 12 months. Let me take advantage that apart from what we have said today, government has also identified funds to do periodic maintenance. When we do say periodic maintenance is to come up with another layer, surfacing layer on top, from Bunda Tunnel to Nsipe and from Chingeni to Blantyre.
One of the contractors is Wasi Civil Engineering Company, which has assured government and Malawians of its commitment to quality work. The company's financial director is Mustafa Hassan, who said contractors are ready to deliver.
We're going to work according to the specifications and the standard of the government, and we are showing the nation that we're going to try our best to work as much as possible, as well as good quality of the project, so that the Malawians should appreciate our service as well.
Government of Malawi has awarded 88 contracts worth 39.6 billion kwacha. The works include routine maintenance, pothole patching, replacement of road signs, and upgrading timber bridges to concrete decks. And all projects are expected to be completed by March 2027. Isaac Jali, MBC, Lilongwe.
Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Ben Piri has challenged councils across the country to familiarise themselves and adhere to the Constituency Development Fund CDF reforms and guidelines for effective service delivery. He said this in Salima during an engagement with council officials on the World Bank funded governance to enable service delivery JESED project and CDF implementation. More with Catherine Banda.
Under the CDF guidelines, 72% of CDF funds is for development projects, 10% for district-wide projects, 8% for bursaries and empowerment, 5% for project management costs, and another 5% for rehabilitation and maintenance of infrastructure. Minister of Local Government Ben Piri says CDF implementation requires proper planning, management, accountability, coordination and ownership. He adds the guidelines must be adhered to, ensuring they are demand-driven projects and of high-quality standards. On the other hand, the minister stated that the $80 million World Bank JESED project will go a long way in ensuring quality projects across the country and complementing CDF.
With the guidelines have made allowable and are now allowable expenditures. And among the development areas that we're looking at are what we're calling full package development. Number two is the president, in his wisdom, decided that issues of disaster, for example, the central government was overwhelmed at times to deal with them. Within the CDF, they have put in a percentage that is to do with disaster management. Another beauty about it, it is coming up with 50 million kwaja sports fund, which was never there before.
A JESED project coordinator, Charles Chunga, said the second phase will ride on the successes of the first JESED project. He said the JESED 2.0 will also extend to the urban centres, especially municipal councils, and is expected to run from 2026 July to 2031.
We are going to look at how we can ride on the successes in terms of what has gone wrong or what did we do right in JESED, in the current JESED, and where did we not do well. Then we can improve on those ones.
Dedza District Commissioner Rosemary Nawasha pledged to fully follow the said CDF guidelines.
We are going to use that guidelines to the fullest because it's our way of doing things. We need to follow each and every step that they have lined up for us so that we can implement CDF in the right way without problem.
On the sidelines of the event, the minister launched the corruption-free and prevention policy, also signing a memorandum of understanding between the Ministry, Anti-Corruption Bureau and councils in a bid to end corruption. Catherine Banda, MBC News, Salima.
Over 260,000 civil servants have been verified in the recent public service headcount exercise. Spokesperson for the Department of Human Resource Management and Development, Ken Mtonga, has confirmed to MBC. The exercise, which started last year in December, is aimed at cleaning government's payroll.
So far, we can say that we have finalized the second phase. Phase one had constituted the piloting around Lilongwe. So we also included the offices which several ministries that are within you. After that, and now we rolled out to all the 28 district councils across the country. We had the 15 teams that went around from Musanje to Chitiba. So about 2 weeks ago, we can say all the teams were back in Lilongwe, though there were some issues here and there which will be rectified. But currently, I can say we are now analyzing the data that has been collected from across the country. After that, we will now produce the preliminary report covering those. So far, I can say that's where we are now.
Government has assured street-connected children of full support to ensure they access education and acquire various technical skills. Minister of Gender, Children, Disability and Social Welfare, Mary Navija, said the development will help reduce the number of street-connected children and enable them to grow into responsible citizens. Navija made the remarks in Lilongwe after interacting with street-connected children and the community around Area 38 dump site. More with Lunjezon Sodoga.
The minister first engaged street-connected children at Lilongwe Town Hall, where she appreciated what the children go through, their needs and achievements. The minister said meaningful engagement with children is not optional, but essential to ensure all street-connected children are heard and supported. She therefore commended efforts by the Lilongwe Rehabilitation Center and One Step Foundation together with other partners for transforming lives of many street-connected children. Navija further said government is committed to promote the welfare of people at Area 38 dump site and ensure that every child grows up in a safe and protected environment and has all necessary resources to thrive.
Time has come. We have to sit down with them, identify their talents, identify their potential, and start allocating them into various institutions. Some of them, they will be back to school, maybe primary, secondary, and some of them, they will be start acquiring some skills in our community development centers.
Executive Director for One Step Foundation, Moses Malabu, said street-connected children face numerous challenges which need increased resources to support their education and equip them with necessary skills. He noted that this would help the children become independent while also reducing the number of children living on the streets.
What government has said is going to pass because we are here. We have been told that we should write down the names of all the mothers who are nursing their children in the street and also those who are depending on here, so that the government can provide them with the loans.
At the event, the minister presented a medal of honor and a cash prize of 10 million kwacha to Malabu in recognition of his work in caring for street-connected children. She said the money will support various programs for the children. Lonjezon Sodoka, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Stakeholders in vocational skills training have been challenged to create more partnerships in vocational training as one way of reducing the skills gap among the youth in the country, in line with the Malawi 2063. TVETA Board Chairperson Gilbert Chilinde was speaking at Ikwendeni Lay Training Center under the CCAP Synod of Livingstonia during a graduation of 695 graduates in various trades under the informal sector. Grant Mohango has more.
Chilinde said it remains the aspiration of the current government to train more youth in vocational skills. He then expressed satisfaction with the outcomes, further encouraging them to explore more avenues for furthering their skills.
At the moment, we need to increase the intake and the access to TVET training. The reason we are confident that we will be able to reach the 160 are the community technical colleges around, and also this program, the informal sector training program, and the national training, the national technical colleges. All of them will be highly resourced.
CCP Synod of Livingstonia General Secretary Reverend William Tembo commended government for promoting vocational skills training in the country.
Professor Bingwa Tarika, he had a vision of letting the country train these young people, take them to China, let them train, and they come back and then they manufacture little things. But this time around, I think as a country we are lucky that we don't have to take them to China. We can do them locally as we have done. Today, 695. That's very big. This is a big number of a population that was forgotten. But today, here they are. Now we are saying, let it just not be just training, and then we let them go. Let them contribute to the economy of the country.
And for his part, Plan International Malawi country representative Herbert Chidaya said the European-funded project through the government of Malawi will continue training youth in vocational skills in the country.
Important to make an impact to these young people who are graduating today. So it's very important that we partner, we bring in the resources and they bring their own technical expertise to support and train.
The trades include tailoring, hairdressing, carpentry and joinery, and welding. Grant Mwango, MBC News, Mzuzu.
This is MBC News and you are with me, Evelis Chingambi. A reminder of our top stories. Government orders road maintenance contractors to deliver quality work that reflects value for public investment. Over 260,000 civil servants verified in the recent public service headcount exercise. And in sports, FDH Bank suspends all sports-related sponsorships and activities. Welcome back. The second phase of the national polio vaccination campaign will commence tomorrow, and Mulanje District Health Office expects to reach out to over 240,000 children during the campaign. District Health Promotions Officer for Mulanje, Peter Nason, said this as government prepares to administer the vaccine to children under the age of 10 from tomorrow to Thursday this week.
Mulanje as a district, we have got a target of about 142,000 children under 10 years of age that we intend to vaccinate against polio virus type 2. This is just a continuation of the first round. So we had the first round last month in March. We vaccinated over 125,000 children in the district, and we had a coverage of about 108% as a district. And we also passed what we call the load quality assessment. This is a unique milestone that we achieved, looking at what it is involved for us to gain that milestone. So our hope is that during the second round, those children that we vaccinated in the first round, they should come again to receive the vaccine, because for them to be fully immunized against this type of polio virus, which is polio virus type 2, they need to receive all the vaccines that we are giving. And on top of this, we are also stressing that much as they have received the vaccine, they should also maintain issues of good hygiene and sanitation, because this vaccine has not come to substitute good hygiene and sanitation. The message to the guardians is that we are encouraging them to have their children vaccinated. We have teams that are going door to door to have these children vaccinated, and we also have other teams that are going around schools. We understand that those children that are below 10 years, most of them.
Over 20 children with cleft lip and palate have been repaired following a one-week surgery camp by Operation Smile Malawi in Zuzu. Programs manager for the organization, Hannah Chisonga, has since commended the Ministry of Health and other stakeholders for supporting its operations in ensuring that children born with the condition receive necessary surgery. Musa Sejeyo reports.
The program's manager for Operation Smile Malawi, Hannah Chisonga, said involvement of the Ministry of Health and other stakeholders has, among others, helped in raising awareness to deal with myths and misconceptions on the matter. She said children born with cleft are no longer kept indoors as some families used to do in the past.
We work with the Ministry of Health, with staff from Ministry of Health in different health centers. On top of that, we have community volunteers who are right in the communities. These can be chiefs, because there are so many myths around cleft, and you'd find that children born with cleft, they're hidden. Sometimes even a community would not know that this mother has given birth to a child with cleft because of the different myths and superstitions that are around cleft.
One of the volunteers, Dixon Mwentete, has urged other players and volunteers to support their organization's cause to reach out to more children born with the problem.
For my fellow workers, we encourage them to come and join us. Yeah, this work needs support from everyone. Yeah, it's a volunteer, but there is reward. The reward is that at least you see the people you have helped, they are going home with a smile.
The one-week camp of Cleft surgery conducted at Mzuzu Central Hospital has assisted about 25 clients. Musase Cheyo, MBC News, Mzuzu.
Stakeholders in the conservation of Lake Malawi National Park and World Heritage Sites have been called upon to embrace modern methods of protecting wildlife. Deputy Director in the Department of Parks and Wildlife, William Ngola, met the call in Mangochi during the closing of a week-long training for park frontline staff, fisheries officials, the Department of Antiquities and communities around Lake Malawi National Park and protected areas. Sotin Dazi has compiled this report, being read by Owen Mavula.
The 5-day training in Mangochi was aimed at enhancing the capacity of heritage professionals to conduct impact assessments for World Heritage Sites. The training was part of a broader effort to strengthen the management and conservation of Lake Malawi National Park and other heritage sites, and it involved online sessions on World Heritage Basics, in-person workshop, and in video scoping reports on participants' respective sites. Speaking during the official closing of the training, Deputy Director of Parks and Wildlife, William Ngola, hailed UNESCO for organizing the training, saying this will go a long way in supporting government's effort in conserving environment.
A 5-day training workshop using the toolkit which we call Enhancing Management Effectiveness Toolkit. This is a toolkit specifically for World Heritage Sites. Lake Malawi National Park, is a World Heritage Site, and this toolkit enables you to assess how effective you are managing the protected area. And actually this toolkit has about 12 worksheets. There are several areas in terms of protected area management.
Board Chairperson for Mangochi Salima Lake Park Association, Francis Njanje, said the training will help advance a unified approach in the effective management of Lake Malawi National Park among stakeholders.
We have learned a lot. What a key note that we have learned that we can't work in isolation. The community and the Parks and Wildlife will be working hand in hand.
The training was coordinated with the Department of Museums and Monuments, Department of National Parks and Wildlife, and the Malawi National Commission for UNESCO.
Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation George Chaponda has commended a new book authored by Justice Dejulani Chisumila for inspiring and challenging people to rise above limitations. Chaponda made remarks in Lilongwe during the launch of the book. Olive Perry has more.
The book, titled From a Refugee Girl to a Judge, tells the story of a girl, Justice Dejulani Rose Chisumila herself, who became a refugee at 12, faced statelessness and citizenship challenges, and later became a judge, while also highlighting resilience and hope among others. Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation George Chaponda commended Justice Chisumila for the book, saying it provides an inspiration to Malawians. Speaking during the launch, former President Dr. Joyce Banda urged refugee girls in the country to define their life goals and remain focused on achieving an extraordinary future. She also cautioned them against copying certain lifestyles, saying they may reduce personal achievement. Justice Dejulani Rose Chisumila said she was inspired to write the book after reflecting on her own lived experience and the lifelong challenges that followed. Chisumila said the book is meant to share a story of resilience and hope, to encourage young people and former refugees to never give up in the face of hardship.
The story is talking about those challenges, and that in that process, broken marriage, parents who were together, their marriage broke up, and those were the only people you were holding on to. And then that pillar collapses and you're in a foreign country. It was so traumatic. You are so young. So all that, but you learn to hold on to life.
Justice Dejulani Rose Chisumila is a judge of the African Court on Human and People's Rights. Chizumira has also held distinguished roles, including Judge of the High Court of Malawi and Malawi's Ambassador to Zimbabwe, among others. Olive Piri, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Moving on to sports, FDH Bank has suspended all sports-related sponsorships and activities pending a review following the postponement of yesterday's match between Mighty Wanderers and Karonga United at Kamuzu Stadium on Saturday. In a statement, the bank expressed concern and disappointment over the situation, citing the ongoing impasse between the Super League of Malawi Sulom and the Football Association of Malawi FAM. Meanwhile, Super League of Malawi Sulom has confirmed that this afternoon's fixture will proceed as planned. MAFCO face rookies Luana Mitundu as Red Lions host Craig Sporting Club at Zomba Stadium. Blue Eagles and Ekaya clash at Civil Stadium, while Masters FC meet Chitipa United and the Floodlights at Bingo National Stadium in Lilongwe. The Blue Eagles Ekaya match will be broadcast live here on MBC. And well, that item also concludes this edition of MBC News. A recap of our top stories before we leave. Government orders road maintenance contractors to deliver quality work that reflects value for public investment. Over 260,000 civil servants verified in the recent public service headcount exercise. And in sports, FDH Bank suspends all sports-related sponsorships and activities. For more, visit MBC Digital on Facebook, X, and Instagram. You've been with me, Evelis Jingambe. Thanks for watching and good afternoon.
Something big is coming on NBC. Not what you've seen before. A new force is about to hit the road. Crafted for presence, engineered for power, designed to turn every head before it even arrives. You'll hear it before you see it. You'll feel it before you know it. This isn't just another launch. It's the beginning of advanced broadcasts. Unveiling soon on NBC. Stay ready.
Utenga kufumira ku Northern Region Water Board. Va Northern Region Water Board vayambenge kutumula maji kwa wose au vandalipile mabilu yao kwamba pachinayi pa 24 April 2026. Kalipireni mabilu yinu pambele vandamdumulireni. Kweniso makastoma wose vakuchenjezeka kuti waleke kupeleka ndalama za mabilu kuwa ntchito waliyose wa Water Board. Malipiro gose gachitikenge ku maofesi ga Water Board, ku banki, panji, pafoni. Maji mbumoyo.
Kusangorukira runchi programu chobeba chicha cha People's Choice pampanato pa MBC. Mukusiwa kale na akafika dimini ndekuti ngini pepe ngini isunda ariko madimini dressing iyo ura inu mati ndikanda bongo manito akuti mafule alipo inde ndizwene tuvala ife. Bodyguard ndabwera naye mkuluja. Bodyguard, my personal bodyguard wafika. Sergeant, whip! Mwaji kodi.
Kodi bani. Mafuna nitakufusen. Kodi. Ni dzuwa ili. Nini kuwalira apa pa. Muntu na kuti umaona chizumba zumba. Ne mwana zo sergeant fipi ndikubesa.
Uri ni ntchito kuti. Ndi ntchito iyi. Andi anthu amaona ngati kuti ndimakuzuza. Iya isini muzuza. Wanyamula chintu chani so.
chimese ntomuputiratin sabato zanga
ine sabato zanga usaziputiputira chinthu ngachwenecho sithawera la mwaneri koma timasangalala kuti inuyo mmakhala pamenepopo kuitsatira program imeneyi ya People's Choice. Timabwera pano every Sunday 12:30 komanso lachinayi 4:30 ndekuti makhala kuti adimini